Hello, punters, and welcome to another episode of the Leg Up Australia podcast. We are back, episode 3 for season 2. Is this 2 or 3?
Yeah, number 3, mate. Number 3.
We have had a lot of feedback about the first 2 episodes. People are liking the new format. A lot of comments about last week about what you and I disagreed about, especially about the Eels and a few other teams that you put much further down the ladder than most people thought. But it's really hard to start this podcast without covering the biggest news at the moment. And Harawira and Jaden Ockenberg from the Canterbury Bulldogs have been stood down.
Well, just could I start? Last week, when I was
You
tipping...
death rode these blokes.
Mate, I know. Last week I say 2 blokes in the Canterbury lineup who are going to be their go-to men in attack, Harawira and Ockenbow, who could have potentially been the next Jamal Idris, have been the 2 to get in
These
trouble.
are all things you said last week. Exact 2 players you spoke about. They have been issued with show cause notices by the NRL after the Bulldogs reported the incident to the NRL.
Andrew Hill did the right thing, taking it straight to the NRL.
Yep.
I believe, without
knowing that this would potentially ruin their season, because so I actually believe sources that the club contacted the 2 blokes first to let them know that this is what's going to happen, and then contacted the NRL. So they wanted to be seen as taking into their own hands and seeing this as serious as it was. So for anyone that doesn't know this, the 2 players were at a school visit in Port Macquarie, and from that...
On behalf of the club?
On behalf of the club, of course. They weren't just doing a personal school visit.
Well, like, you know how sometimes the NRL players go out and do charity in the community on their own.
Okay, that's fair enough to clear that up. But no, this was on behalf of the club, where not sometimes, all the time across every code in Australia, most players will go to schools for school visits. I remember them coming to our school. I remember the Aussie Rules guys coming to our school. I think we had NRL blokes come to our school, but...
Did you F one of them?
No, I never did. I never did. They never approached me after school to say, let's hang out. But this, what's come out since is these Instagram text messages, direct messages between Jaden Ockenberg and a student. We believe she's 16 years old.
How did these messages come about? Were these hacked or were these sent?
This is her, man. That's her.
Oh, you think she sent it into the media?
Sent from her, yeah.
Okay.
So, text messages, everything's on Fox Sports, as usual, your number 1 journalist gossip website.
Scandal. Loves a scandal.
Loves a scandal. The boys at Fox Sports' eyes would have lit up when they heard about this, but get to the newsroom. But yeah, this is, I mean, we're having a joke about it, but this is absolutely terrible.
Well, mate, if I can take it away, I think that this not only derails their season, it's going to not ruin probably the careers of these 2 young blokes, but I do not believe that they have a future going forward at the Canterbury Bulldogs. This incident has cost Canterbury a $2 million sponsorship with Rashay's, which, you know, that's a lot of bad food, that $2 million to eat at Rashay's. Rashay's, I think it's from what I've heard, it's an ordinary meal, but they need
like a
that,
fast food restaurant,
like a fast food, quick dining sort of restaurant.
We're going to get in trouble for your comments on Rashay's of everything.
So
mate, they've lost the sponsorship deal.
They've lost a sponsorship deal, $2 million. They didn't have a front of jersey sponsor this late into the episode. Like, really, they're 2 days out from the start of the season. They signed on Tuesday, and they gave Rashay's the opportunity to pull out today. So the jerseys were printed yesterday, pulled out today. So, yeah, I think this is massive, and it's obvious that these two guys, there is no way that they will be able to play for the Canterbury Bulldogs in the future. I believe anyway. It just...
like, what is a fit punishment for this? So, like, I know I'm more blown away than I think you are, because I did some work with the AFL, and like New South Wales AFL, this is going back 10 or so years. The school visits was one of the most important things on their agenda, because they're trying to push the football through school. They're trying to push the teams. They're trying to create a fan base. They're trying to encourage our kids to play NRL. This is happening every day in hundreds of schools across Australia, from, like I said, not only NRL, the AFL, the union, the cricket players go through there, the netball players. Like, this is happening every day, and two players have used their position to take advantage of that situation. And we went through last year's pre-season from hell for 2019, and apart from, I suppose, Jared Haynes and Jack DeBellum, which were aggravated or violent sexual assaults, this is up there. I understand, and people, let me know your comments. I'm really interested to see. I understand that there's an age of consent, but you're still in the legal system. There is especially with school teachers, there is a abuse of power, and that's what's happened here.
Yeah. Do you know what? When you said what sort of punishment could you give these guys, it's obvious when their team sits around at the start of the season and says, Joe Blow, you're going to this school, you're going to that school, you're going to this school. I bet if they sat around and said, does anyone in this room think it's okay after you go to a school that you start texting the girls from the school or the boys, or you go to F one of them after it? I reckon it just fails the pub test. So
are you saying that the common sense the common sense assumption?
I'm saying that they would have been given the education to not do this.
You'd friggin' hope so. But that's...
So, mate, I'm saying what their punishment should be is not financial. Well, it'll be borderline financial, but not an actual suspension, but a reality check, as far as they're going to drop these guys to play reserve grade for a year. Not ban them from playing football. Go and play reserve grade for a year.
Why
get
not,
a job.
Why not? Why not ban them from playing football?
Because I think if legally it's not a crime, I don't think that they should be held to the account of a punishment for something that is outside of football and not a crime.
Yeah.
Even though they've let down team rules, I do think though that
but it's not only team rules, it's school rules. A teacher can't start sleeping with a student in year 12.
That's right. But that's where, when you say that legally it's not, well, I'm saying it's legally not a crime, but they have to be held to account for their actions, and they have to be brought back into that reality bubble where they're in this bubble thinking nothing can hurt me. I can do whatever the fuck I want, and nobody can say shit. But you need to pop that bubble and make them go, holy shit, there is more outside in this world than just me, bowling through my life and doing whatever I want.
Okay, so I know we've got a lot of teachers that follow the page, and I know a lot of you guys that listen to the podcast. And so correct me if I'm wrong. If you're a teacher and you sleep with a year 12 student, let's say she's 18, like, do you lose your job? I'd say yes. Do you have your name kind of, I suppose, listed for other schools? I know teachers actually have a record. So if I'm a teacher going for a job at another school, that school's going to have access to looking at my record, and things like that will get reported.
in the
Do
future,
clubs oversee that though? Do clubs would like if I was the Bulldogs, I'd be cutting these blokes straight away.
Yeah, because really in the future, how would any school not only accept them to come, but how could the person sending them out trust that what they're going to do won't be tainted by them cracking onto a student potentially?
It's not like,
mate, it's a shit go, I know. And the worst thing is being a Doggy supporter and thinking that your team is going into this year's competition with probably what is a little bit of an understrength squad, and hoping that they were going to be able to pull together and create results through camaraderie and that dogs of war attitude like the Bulldogs are known for, closing down stock. Pretty much.
you spoke about it last week. You basically spoke about it, that it's,
and then I rested their season on two blokes that have gone out and disappointed us. Like it is very, very disappointing, not only from a Bulldog fan's perspective, but now every time these guys, anyone from the NRL walks into a school, the joke's going to be, are they going to fuck a student?
And that's what the Bulldogs have probably only the last couple of years got past their old persona of, gang, don't think I can say that word, but that they're just cleaning up their act. They need to get it right on the park. And now they look like they might have a chance. And then this happens.
Oh, mate, you can already see Dean Pay in the interviews. The season hasn't even started. He's under pressure, like I said last week. He's under a lot of pressure. Mate, he fucking looks like he's about to die. He looks like it's already aged him 10 years. And last season aged him 10 years.
As soon as I saw this news, Bulldogs were $5 for wooden spoon. So if that's still available right now, I don't know. You'd have to look at it because, like, imagine if. Yeah, sorry, I just can't. I can't. This pisses me off. This one quite a lot because, like I said, because I did some work with school visits, I know how important this is to not only the clubs and probably we're looking at it from the club's point of view, how important it is to the club's point of view. It is so important for the NRL to have school visits and to open them up to regional school visits. Port Macquarie schools getting like,
mate, Port Macquarie, Coffs Harbour, they're two massive strongholds for rugby league.
Yeah.
And now you're potentially looking at a school that's going to go, nah, we're not dealing with that sort of shit anymore.
No, they can't, and they shouldn't have to. So, and this is like, I don't know if there should be some sort of social media ban on some of these blokes where they keep getting themselves into trouble. It happened over Instagram, and then was it today? Tell me this isn't true, because I am taking this off Fox Sports, but did Haranara post a TikTok video during?
No, that was when he was on his way up to the school.
Okay. You
got to get that TikTok out before you go to the school.
What are we dealing with here? So, look, hey
mate, do you know what? The whole thing's only going to get worse before it gets better anyway. There's rumours that there may, I don't know if you've got to say the words allegedly, but there may be an alleged sex tape circling around.
Well, we got sent a tape literally, 10 minutes before we came on air tonight. It looks like it's from a nightclub, and it looks like, and this is me just being assumptive on it. Look, Corey Harawira-Nara has very,
it's all speculation, hair, obviously,
but you can't see faces. But there is, mate, this. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And the shit thing about it is we bag sites that talk about gossip and things like that. Yet on the eve of round one, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And we have to address it. Like I said, we're getting sent videos. Like we're getting them sent to the page in our videos.
Just before we turn the microphones on tonight, we got sent that video, and potentially it could be. Look, we'll find out in the media the next few days. They'll be the ones that'll release it. They release everything, so
Yeah, and that's we'll just hit on our standpoint on these kind of things. Last year, we did get sent a lot of these videos, even some videos that never even came out to the media, but we don't post them. We are a sports racing and tipping page, not a gossip page. The podcast is a space for us to bet.
We've got to cover the events. We've got to cover this sort of stuff. It's going to affect the form of the Bulldogs in round one.
We, on the pages, on the website, we want your opinion. Here, this is our opinion. But I tell you now, the whole preseason without any real incident, compared to the 28 or so incidents last preseason. And can I just say, the NRL, the only thing that I think is probably working in the NRL's favour, and this is going to sound fucking crook, but is the coronavirus. Because if it was a slow...
I see what you did there. That was a pun. Sounds crook.
Crook, yeah.
Sounds crook.
If we didn't have the front page absolutely flooded with people fighting over toilet paper and schools getting shut down because a kid's sick, this would be all over it.
Yeah.
Absolutely all over it. So,
and I've got to say too, what about you wouldn't be an NRL administrator for Quids? Like, for all the negotiation they would have done in the off season to secure that sponsorship, 2 days out they would have been in their back offices high five. Oh yeah, great job, Andrew. We got that sponsorship.
Rashies.
Let's go have some rashes. Celebrate with a bit of rashes. Yuck, obviously, but they're going to pay $2 million.
I didn't know you had such an agenda against rashies.
Oh, mate, it's just I don't think it's a great feed, obviously, but to do all that work to get that sponsorship, like it's a bit of a laughing stock that a club with such a high profile in the NRL couldn't get a front of jersey sponsor.
You reckon Kia's happy they fell off the sponsorship deal last year?
Did they wait until Fafita got out of the Bali prison, or?
Mate, I don't know. It was for them to, out of the frying pan into the pot. But it's anyway.
Well, let's pack it up for now and put it to bed, and then it'll probably be addressed next week.
We had to touch on it because people were talking to us about it. It has not really diminished my excitement for round one. We have football back on our screens full time for the next 6 months. Can you hear how hard that is?
Oh, hard as a cat's head.
Mate, could break glass with it. We are so excited to rip straight back in. Little pin. Mate, we actually start off first game of round 1, 2020. It's Parramatta Eels taking on your Canterbury Bulldogs.
Mate, and do you know what? I was all set to tip Canterbury
this
first round.
You and I have spoken about this because we thought that our very first bet on the NRL this year, you and I would be taking opposite sides. Is it safe to assume that that's not the case anymore?
Mate, I've had to risk all that tip. I've got to tip against the Bulldogs. And you know what? I just see them slipping out of the top 8, even out of the top 10 in the NRL with this controversy going on. The guys that are going to step in for Ockenbar and Corey Harinara they're just not of the same quality. It's quite disappointing, and that's why we felt we did have to address that issue, because it's going to be such a pressing matter for the Bulldogs. It's going to be the reason for their slide down the ladder, really.
Mate, it would not. Like I said, at $5, it would not surprise me if these guys take the wooden spoon.
Yeah, well, like it just Harinara, their best player last season, being replaced by Joe Stimson, it just doesn't give them the same whack in attack. So for that reason, I think Parramatta are not only a bet, but quite a good thing in the first round. Bankwest Stadium.
I think, in fact, I saw. Let's see if I can get this up while I'm talking.
Bankwest Stadium's become a bit of a fortress for Parramatta as well. it's put in, take out, that sort of bet.
Yeah, you're getting $1.28 Parramatta to win. Canterbury Bulldogs are $3.60. The line is currently at minus 10.5. Now, that looks quite attractive now. In the beginning, and it was always at that, the line was always there, by the way.
Yeah, the same line didn't change.
The line didn't change.
Did it firm for Parramatta, the betting?
Not a lot. I had $1.36, but it's down to $1.28. I don't know. You know, people think that this can. No, I'm not going to say that can, you know, galvanise a club, but not shit like that. Hey, just on the Bankwest Stadium, just two little futures bets that are out there. For $4, Eels to score 50 plus at Bankwest Stadium at least once in the regular season. Could be round one.
That's a good bet.
I don't think that's bad at all. $4. Last year they did it against bloody the Broncos.
Was it Brizzy? Yeah.
58-0. 58-0. Sevo scored 600 tries. Eels to go undefeated at Bankwest Stadium. Give me a price. What price are you giving me for that? For them to go undefeated?
30-1.
Oh, you are good.
What is it?
$31.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Mate, but I think they kick off this season with the win at Bankwest against the Bulldogs. I think there's a little bit of value against some fairly uneven outcomes, uneven matchups here. So I've gone just head-to-heads in my bets, but we will go through them a little bit later on in the episode. I'll just get your thoughts briefly on these games. Raiders at their new facility.
Raiders v Titans.
Sorry, Raiders got a new training facility, not a new stadium. Is that correct?
Definitely not a new stadium.
Still GIO.
They're $10 million to one building a new stadium in Canberra.
Hey, they did it in Townsville.
Hey, Townsville, that is their lead sport. That rugby league is Townsville. What else does Townsville have?
What's Canberra? The Army. What's Canberra got? AFL, I suppose.
The Parliament House.
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I didn't realise that you meant just all attractions that the town holds.
They got Manuka Honey.
Manuka Oval. That's the time I played there a couple of times, playing for state.
A couple of hangers.
A couple of hangers. We once got there was a game I played in, and the score line was 120-9, and I kicked 1 goal 3, which was the 9. We got 4.
2 at half time.
Hey, listen. I like Titans plus 10 in this game. People.
Oh, mate, I think you might like wasting your money.
Says the bloke that was really keen on the Bulldogs. I just think Titans will have fight at the beginning of this season. I think Ash Taylor's got a fair bit to prove. I think they're going to have their backs against the wall. They're going down to freezing cold Canberra, which I'm just assuming Canberra's freezing cold in March, but it's not up here.
Was there a rumour that Ash Taylor took on a full-time job in the off-season to just sort of ground himself a little bit for this season? I was hearing a rumour that he took on a job as a labourer.
Yeah, I think so.
Which I think that's great. Like I said about the bubble before with the Canterbury players, just to pull themselves out of that bubble and see the reality of what everyone that's paying for the tickets to go and watch the games has to go through to earn that money to get to a game. So
I think there was a fair bit of talk about he squarely had his head up his ass, got the money, didn't perform, took quite a big hit to his confidence. But mate, he's a kid. He bounced back. He come good. He realised he
hasn't come good yet. He definitely hasn't come good yet.
Mentally, he's come good. And
okay.
It's like I said, mate. I'm betting around the Titans this year. The whole first half of round 1. No.
Sorry, I'm allergic to the Titans.
I don't think that sneeze got picked up in your mic, but the whole, mate, I think there's money to be won on the Titans this year. So mark those words down. And those, I can't, these first 3 games, Friday night finishing with Cowboys, Broncos at the new stadium. The fact you can get $1.60 about the Cowboys in this. Now,
Mate,
this is
massive news.
This is including that news. So for anyone that hasn't heard this, because hopefully this comes out first thing in the morning, hit them up.
Oh, here we go. So at training tonight, Jackson Bird has gone down with an ACL injury. It looks like he'll be out for the season.
So he was named at fullback for round one, and they came out and said that he would basically hold that spot until he lost it for the rest of the year.
It is massive news to put their number one goal kicker onto the bench, and probably he was their number one winger, the rookie of the year 2 years ago in the NRL. To put him back to the bench, that was massive for him to start at fullback, and then to lose him on the eve of their first round. Even though they do have the Bash brothers in the forwards, I can't see the Bash brothers being Tavita Pangai Jr., Fafita, Payne Haas. I just can't see them having that attacking potency to be able to deal with this Cowboys team that looks really out of the box this year. Mate, this Cowboys team, just looking at them, I know they had a good roster last year, but they could go all the way this year. The Cowboys, they got a gun side, and you've had Valentine Holmes to that. It just
Valentine.
Ovaltine Holmes.
Ovaltine. That's exactly what I thought. Hey, Cowboys to win the premiership, $17. That is
really?
A smoke. Yeah, that is like I had two Smokies down, and we'll go through our futures bet quickly after we get through round one. But I had two Smokies down, and one of them was Cowboys at $17.
If Cowboys do win the premiership, they'll build a smaller miniature statue of Michael Morgan in Jonathan Thurston's statue's shadow. Mate, at the front of the new stadium.
How many times have you heard, and maybe because I've got Queensland radio up here and they talk about three teams, two teams, they don't really talk about the Titans, but this is Michael Morgan's team to take. Now JT's gone, this is for Michael Morgan to take control of his team. He hasn't been around for 2 seasons.
He has.
Hey, no. Jonathan Thurston.
Hasn't been around.
Yeah, hasn't been around for 2 seasons. And Michael Moore, and they keep saying, he's got to take control of his team. If he hasn't done it in the first 2 years, it's not his team to take control of. But maybe that's where, I don't know, Granville or...
Mate, Scott Drinkwater coming off player of the tournament in the Nines. I feel like that sort of creative ability.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a great spine. Holmes, Drinkwater, Morgan, Granville.
Hey,
good suburb too.
Granville, great spot. Can I just give you these couple of big boppers going at it tomorrow night? Payne Haas, David Fafita, Tavita Pangai Jr., as you mentioned, going up against
the Bash
Jordan McLean, Gavin Cooper, Cohen Hess, who by all reports is starting for Queensland already, and Jason Tamalolo. That is going to be...
Tamalolo.
Tamalolo.
Jason Janalomu.
And Valentine and Ovaltine Holmes. So I think this is actually going to be one of the... I reckon this is going to be the best game of round one.
This one, 100%, mate. These Queenslanders, they will just bash each other. It will be like a state of origin up there.
Yeah. Yeah. The lines at 4 points. Cowboys are paying $1.80 -4.
Oh, mate, I reckon Cowboys will pump through that line.
I don't know, man. We've had golden goal. We've had 1 point wins. We've had...
Yeah, but I just believe if the Cowboys can weather the big attack of the Broncos coming out of their own area, Corey Oates, Payne Haas, Fafita, Pangai Jr., just really bashing it out. If they can handle that, if they get over the top of that, I give Milford no hope. Brodie Croft will realise the the burden that Ben Hunt had to carry when he was there.
Yeah.
Very, very early on in the season. If the Cowboys can really get on top of that, because the lack of talk from Milford is just, it's clear. You can see it on the television. You don't even need the players to tell you that he's just not a great organiser. So Brodie Croft is going to have to shoulder a lot of that. He's coming from a Melbourne Storm team that was organised by, like that Melbourne Storm team is like going to Christmas with your parents. They do everything for you.
I think that's, I mean, you're spot on, but I think that's why we are, I mean, as a Broncos fan, what I am actually quite excited is that Milford doesn't have to do more than just play. Because I think when he's got a captain or there's too much responsibility on his shoulder, he lets it get to him. The fact that Brodie Croft actually goes into this game as captain. Like,
yeah, really. Brodie Croft and
yeah, the other bloke is the 20-year-old. Is it
Patrick Carrigan?
No.
Carrigan.
Patrick Carrigan. 20 or 21.
They reckon it's going to be the new Matt Gillette, isn't it?
Oh, mate, wouldn't that be very handy? 98, what's that? 22. 98, 2008. Yeah, 22.
Oh, kid's born in 98. Wow.
Nickname, Paddy. Yeah, I think this is actually where we're going to see Milford. I think we're going to see a big year for Milford. But Valentine home, also, I think we're going to see a huge year and possibly Dally fullback. In fact, I hit on that briefly in our futures bets, which we'll get into shortly. So we're both sitting on the side of the Cowboys. That game. Saturday afternoon, the Knights are hosting the Warriors.
The Knights have got the bye.
So the Knights have the bye. This, you and I are both fairly set on who our wooden spoon's going to be. Now,
well, I think if anyone's going to displace the Sharks from the wooden spoon, it could be the Warriors. I've got the Warriors. Well, we've got the Warriors down as the bye.
I think the bet I took I was quite excited about was Warriors for the spoon at $6.
Ooh. Oh, yep. I've got that circled here. Warriors, $6. I thought I made that up.
I already wrote it on your pad and circled it for you. But there's a little bit of an anomaly here. The line is 6.5 for this game. I think the Knights, you've got big props on the Knights, don't you?
Yeah, I actually think the Knights are sort of one of two teams. The Knights and the Cowboys, I think, could really come and blow the comp wide open this year. I think you could see one of them leading after, 6 to 10 rounds.
Yeah.
Quite convincingly.
I don't mind that line. I definitely like that head-to-head at around the $1.45, $1.50 mark. Rabbitohs Sharks.
$1.50 mark.
Rabbitohs Sharks, 4:30 Saturday Arvo, 5:30 probably your time. The first game, other than the trial and the charity, that Latrell trots out for the Rabbitohs. I think this is the first game of what we're going to see to be a dominant season by the Rabbitohs and what will end in them being the eventual premiers.
Ooh, big call. I like it.
And at $11, I'm very happy to take it. So what you've got no wrap on the Sharks. Can I just, people kind of questioned about how hard I went on Josh Morris. Hold on. Whatever Morris that wants to go.
It's the beginning of the Josh Morris farewell tour from Cronulla, lasting 2 weeks.
I've also got some goss in on, which I think has already hit a few places, but there was a fair bit going on with Dugan. Did you know he was trying to get doctors to sign off on a medical retirement this year?
I thought that was only rumour.
Yeah, see, I think it's being confirmed by a few of the doctors, because obviously certain news outlets push for this stuff and pay money to get the truth. And then they had a game up in Papua New Guinea. Paul Kent reported this, and he came through and found his love for league again, but obviously not with the Sharks. So just on the Morris thing where people thought I went a bit hard, if they were so desperate to play with each other, why didn't... Hold on. Before I say this, I need to figure out which Morris is.
Josh is at Cronulla. Brett is at Roosters. And
Why
John,
did Brett
John,
come
their
across?
Father is the
John,
coach.
their father is the coach. Why didn't Brett come across to Cronulla?
Because they're losers.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So it does go back to my original argument where I'm sure there's players on many teams that just don't want to play for their team this year and play for the back-to-back premiers.
Yeah, it's the complete opposite to Ivan Cleary and whatever his son's name is, the halfback, that how they had to go and play together. Neither Morris brother wants to be coached by their father.
Yeah, well, and fair enough. But but that's an honest question. If the whole thing is about, they released him. When did they release him?
Oh, mate, it's so
Today.
friggin' ridiculous.
But if they
2
released
weeks.
us
He's got to
today-
play with them for 2 weeks.
Yeah, sorry, but I think they announced the release today. But if they were so keen to play with each other as brothers, why didn't Brett come over the Sharkies?
Come over the Sharkies, bro.
Come on, come down Shire. I think his missus is from the Shire.
Bro, come down to Northies. We'll have a great time. We'll lose heaps, but don't worry. We've only got Ryan Hall up here. Come up.
Yeah, mate, you're a walk-on.
Well, he really is, because for some reason they bought Ryan Hall over, or Ryan Hall came over, and they just refused to play him.
He just came over.
Hey, Trent, can I just hang around the side?
Yeah, let me have a go.
Thanks, Robbo.
Yeah, look, there's a lot to it. Hey, moving on to the next game. Speaking of the Cleary football family, the Panthers are hosting the Roosters. Current line is at 6 points. Now, before I get your take on this game quickly, so are we both with the Rabbitohs on that one?
100%.
Yeah. In fact, to get $1.50 about that as well, I'm going to tell you my thoughts around betting about round one when we get to the end of the show, but they're in it. Penrith are hosting the Roosters. Now, Boyd Cordner is being managed. So he will not play the opening round of the 2020 season because of load management. What are your thoughts on that?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mate, these guys
Glad
are
you said that.
they're not only built to play, they don't only train all preseason to play, but they're paid to play. They're not paid to train. They're not paid to do media stuff. They're paid to run on the field and be the best possible players that they can be.
Didn't play the World Club Challenge. Was managed. Not going to play round one against the Panthers.
Mate,
now,
I had a theory here that because Boyd Cordner is not a bloke that would miss these games. I think there is some underlying.
He accepted this decision very reluctantly. I've been well informed.
Mate, I think there must be some sort of underlying injury going on there.
So a lot of people talking about his knee. I think he was meant to go for a clean out this year. I don't know if it got it, but
mate, for sure. Because put it this way, what's the point of easing into the season and then bang, you've got 3 Origins, games after Origin, then
so many other opportunities to either get injured or get tired or get I don't know. I just don't buy it. I just think if you think about the fans that come to watch the games, I think it's crap.
Do you know what? You want load management? Train less. Less media appearances. Less of the shit that comes with rugby league and more of the on-field stuff. Why not play him off the bench? You can't tell me he wouldn't be more of an impact for 20 minutes to a half an hour than any other Joe Blow that would be coming off the bench for them.
Yeah, and okay, so as a Penrith player, would you sit there and say that's disrespectful for your captain?
I'd be going, thank God he's not playing.
No, I just think that's not showing respect to your opponent. That we'll rest him this game, We'll rest them this game.
Did they mention the word rest though?
They said load management, but that's resting.
Fuck. Load management is a word made up by the scientists to justify their jobs, I think anyway.
No. The load management means resting. They've sit there and said that, okay, we're going to rest this bloke for this game because we've got Manly next week. So obviously we think Manly is going to be a tougher opponent than Penrith, and that's assuming he's going to play. But, like, Penrith should be offended.
Mate, well, for me, the only thing that's going to keep Penrith in this game is the fact that it's the first game of the season.
Yeah.
And it's at their home ground. First up, fresh, enthusiasm, adrenaline, no tired legs, no injuries. Like, they should be out of the blocks, out of the gates, really ready to put in a big game. That's about as far as it gets for me with Penrith this season.
They're very thin too. Like, there's not a lot of depth there. But
yeah, I think their lead players, when they're shut down, it shuts down their whole game plan. They can't come out this season and just think they're going to run everything to kick out. Teams are already all over it. They were all over it at the back end of last season. They need to be able to create something more in attack. They actually, mate, truthfully, they need more from Nathan Cleary. He needs to start justifying. Yeah, justifying
set up this year,
getting his dad there for a coach, and also the money that he's on.
There's no Maloney. It's his team. He's taking control of them. Apparently, he's pushing around the park like he is. He's a good in and under, mate. I think I've got him a little bit higher than you. I think for the year, but I don't think the line at 6 points for the Roosters at Panthers. I mean, they're taking Penrith. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not. This isn't one of those regional games or anything, is it? They wouldn't have done that the first round anyway.
No. Cleary's only problem this season, I think, will be, even if he does stand up, I don't think he has the cattle to go higher than scraping into the top 8, which would be surprising for me.
Yeah, I think so too. In fact, a lot of people did have him in the 8, which I thought was quite surprising. So that wraps up the Saturday of games. Sunday, we kick off. Just really, really quickly. We spoke week 1 about the Leg Up Premium subscription. A part of the Leg Up Premium subscription is we do daily multis with specials of our games. So we select our best bets for those games, and these ones will come directly from Pat and myself on what bets we're having Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So keeping them rolling through the day. Once we get, a ton, look, when the AFL comes back in, we'll have a little bit more. Might even have a Saturday afternoon, a Saturday night kind of special. So a hell of a lot more content going into the TLU Premium subscription, which, can I remind you, is $9.95 a week with 7-day free trial, or $35 a month, which works out to be $8 a week with a 14-day free trial. Free trial. Go sign up.
It's cheap. If you're punting and you're getting it's one bet.
It's also tips. There's a tip every day.
One bet for a month's worth of tips.
Today's tip, this is Wednesday, the 11th of March.
We had a nice little fill on one of the bets today.
We got on
Good Sword or something.
I think it was a couple of good stock.
Good stock. Good sword.
I think it was the good stock. The good stock got in paying I think when we tipped it was paying $6 and we got on late.
We got on late.
We got on late with our tips. We were busy, mate. We were busy. So yeah, back to that. TLU Premium. Sign up now. We've got a good bunch of blokes. You get the Saturday's tips emailed to you, but you join our Facebook group, our exclusive Facebook group that is only paid to get in, and you will get these tips every single day. You will get these sports multis over the weekend. You'll get a little bit of NBA stuff coming into the playoffs, things like that. Just head to thelegupaustralia.com, hit the premium tab, sign up. It will ask for your credit card details. But that's how a free trial works, just so people don't get confused. You put your credit card details in, then you get it for free for 7 days. Then after 7 days, you pay for the next week. People don't get confused. Oh, if it's free, why do I have to put my credit card in? That's why. If you wanted to buy the product, if we didn't give you a free period, you put your credit card in, you'd pay for the next 7 days, but that's not how it works. You put your credit card in, you get the 7 days free, then you get charged for the next 7 days. So a lot of you people are already on board, very excited for the football season. A lot of NRL going to be spoken about in there. So I'm looking forward to having some new members come on board. You also get direct access to us. So you can message us every day, ask us questions on bet.
It's free. Jump on board. 1 week.
Yeah.
Just have a trial for 1 week.
That's it, mate. Look at all the people that signed up. I think it would have been Friday. We get big influx Friday, obviously, for the race on Saturday. Those people are still obviously after having a great weekend. On Friday, $8 double. 2 tips got up. A lot of the blokes in the group actually doubled it up. $8 multi. Saturday, we had a great day. Sunday's tip, I think, 1 up, 1 down. Monday, Tuesday, I actually can't remember. I think there was place. Anyway, and then today's was a $6 winner, a second, and I didn't see, and the roughie came second as well at good odds. So
$4.40 a place actually.
So you're looking at, you've still got tomorrow's tips, which is Thursday, and then on Friday you'll get charged for next week. So this first week's free. So if you're not happy with tipping a ton of winners or getting a ton of winners tipped you, you can cancel tomorrow. And it didn't cost you a thing, just made you money. So we've got a really good service with it. We don't care if you take advantage of it. Just sign up, just spruik it to your mates, get on board, have a bit of fun with it. Into Sunday's game, we got Manly hosting the Storm. I'm tipping an upset.
Mate, this is a game that really gets the blood flowing. Don't you just... When these two teams play, it just brings you back to, was it Adam Blair and Glenn Stewart? Just going toe to toe.
And then running off and then just going, yep, okay, yep, we're off the side, yep, bang.
Yeah, come here, big dog.
I want to remember who the first player to run in was.
Wasn't it Brett Stewart?
I thought it was Sam Thaiday.
Oh, it could have been Sammy Thaiday.
He was always a great third man. He wasn't a big dog.
Bloody Sammy.
Yeah, I see this really evenly matched. I can't remember where I put Manly for my 8, but the last week I've just been reading so much on them, speaking to a few people that are around Manly, and I really rate them. There's no depth. Their top 17 are their best players, and after that it's very, very thin.
That's where Desi though is quite a good coach. He is quite good at plucking guys out of nowhere.
Yep.
I reckon. Even if you do flick through the Manly team now, there are probably some names that you won't recognise, but he's a top coach and he's great, has a great eye for talent. In saying that, they won't win.
You think Storm's got this?
Yes. Mate, Cameron Smith, in his 35th year in the NRL, he has made it. He has made an art form of winning round 1. I think he's won 70 out of 71 round 1s.
I'm thinking no Brandon Smith. I'm thinking no.
Is Brandon Smith the I'm just waiting for a mate guy?
Another great post by Batuta Advocate. He does look like that. I'm just waiting for a mate. So we're going against each other here. Dragons, West Tigers. This is a massive stay away if I've ever seen one. You are warning.
Mate, I've really convinced myself into this game.
Yeah. Okay. What do you like?
After a lot of discussion with myself, I've come to the conclusion that I can just see the Dragons clicking this game.
Okay.
First game of the season, straight out of the blocks. Ben Hunt, Corey Norman just go bang. Their front row is just that there's just so much
James
class.
Graham, Isaac Luke, Paul Vaughan, Tyson Frizzell, Tarek Sims, Blake Laurie is their forward.
Which is, mate, not only a big front row, but so much talent there. Then you roll off the West Tigers front row. You're looking at Josh Alloway and Alex Twal. Whilst good players, I just don't think they're not in the same class as James Graham and Paul Vaughan.
You got Billy Boxhead Walters, you got Luke Garner, and you got Luciano Leilua.
I've got to say though, Billy Walters could possibly be a potential future favourite player of mine in the game.
He will be, of course. Of course he will be. But do have a look at the photo that the NRL have taken of him. He's got quite a square head. But yeah, it's
is it whose son is it? Kevin? Kerrod? Steve's?
Kev.
It's Kev's.
Yeah.
Kevo.
Yeah.
Kev's son.
I like that Josh Reynolds is coming off the bench. I wouldn't be surprised if he does start. He can slot into any of those positions. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm laying with the Tigers here. I think the Tigers they snuck into my top 8. So,
mate, I think they're going to get ambushed here. They're a team that they trained last season all the way through the finals period to get that feeling of going to a grand final, and I think that's about as close as they'll ever get.
Right, okay. I don't think I like that either. Training through like you're going to play a grand final.
Hey, that's the Madge Maguire mind games.
Madge Maguire is probably the coach that is in the hottest seat out of all of them this year.
Dean Pay said, "Hold my drink."
Dean Pay's got a few excuses. The only thing I have heard is I think the Dragons are eyeing off Shane Flanagan. Now, he isn't back until he's off this year and next year. So that might give Madge a bit of time. But
I feel like it wouldn't surprise me if Flanagan did a year in Super League. Just
first grade coach, isn't it? Or is it an NRL head coach? I thought it was a first grade head coach.
That's the NRL head coach, isn't it?
I thought first grade would just be first grade football.
Well, mate.
Bullshit.
Mary McGregor is under the pump this season. No questions about it. Oh. Like he is every season. Dragons and their fans expect results. If they aren't going top 4 this year, I think he will be under pressure. That's just what the Dragons fans are like.
I tend to agree. And, I think it's going to be a tough year for him and the Dragons. Hey, we've been waffling on about round 1. Obviously, this is a bigger episode because it's round 1 and we're very excited. We had quite a bit to touch on at the top of the show. Let's roll through some futures bets. Then we're going to take a quick break, come back, discuss the All-Star Mile, possibly the Coolmore, and then what we're liking for our bets this week. So have you got any futures bets you would like to share with us? At least give us your spoon, your premiers, and then a possible smoky.
Well, a couple of good bets for the spoon for me. Sharks at $17 and the Warriors at $6. I think just a couple of dollars on that gives you a good interest in who'll collect the spoon. I'm quite confident that it will come from one of those two teams.
I think the Warriors for sure. At $6, I reckon that's great money. And look, if you do, one of the best things about over-unders betting, which we went through last week, and have a quick listen back to episode 37, we spoke about the overs and unders. Having a bet on overs and unders is great because that means that any game you flick on at any time over the weekend, you sit there and go, oh, shit, I got Dragons unders here, so I'm going to go again. I'm going to go for the West Tigers here. So, bit of fun. So have a listen back to last week's episode. Warriors for the spoon at $6 I like. I think, did you say Sharks at $17?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, look, they've lost Josh Morris now. Dugan, he's getting a medical retirement?
No. He's back. He's back in love with the game.
Oh,
but they don't want him to play it. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so give me a smoky for the premiers. So I'm with you on the Warriors, by the way. I'm with you.
I'll give you 2 smokies for the premiers. Cowboys and Newcastle.
I don't mind Newcastle, and I had a bit of a look at them today. What was I listening to on the drive today? Oh, Matty Johns podcast, obviously there's going to be a bit of a Newcastle theme to it, but they kind of spoke of the same thing. If they can get things right up there, and this new coach, he's done a long apprenticeship. He's under Bellamy and then Robinson. Like, doesn't get much better than that. I'm with you on the Cowboys. I like Manly at $12. I think, like I said to you before, Manly stay healthy. Both the Borja brothers. They got Daly. They've got
Des Hasler as the coach.
They got Des. Who was the captain of the Indigenous All-Stars team? Big Papa.
Not Fanua. No, that's.
No, I think
Fanua Blake. What about him? He's like a brick wall.
I think I'm talking about Joel Thompson. Is that him?
Oh yeah, their second rower.
Yeah. I got big raps on this bloke.
Who'd you say? Siren and him in the back row, and Trebojevic at lock.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ball playing there. I hope someone decides to run.
Yeah, hopefully. Marty Tapau. Just
Tapau.
Hand it off.
Fanua Blake.
Fanua Blake
and Marty Tapau running at each other at training is like an unstoppable object.
Meaning an unmovable force. An unstoppable force being an immovable object. Yeah. You're an unstoppable object. Okay, so who do you have as your premiers for the bet this year?
I've got to say, Roosters, they've only added to their squad. I know they've made
a big loss.
They did lose Latrell, but I think Latrell got rid of that no dickheads policy thing for them. I think they considered him a dickhead towards the end and got rid of him. Now they got Josh Morris coming into the side after round 3. Like, they're just going from strength to strength. Like,
Kyle Flanagan's quite a good,
great team steadier. I think Luke Keary's shown that he can stand up without Cooper Cronk, and as long as he keeps head knock free, he'll be, mate. I can't see why they wouldn't win a third in a row.
It would be great, to be honest. My wife being a Roosters fan, I think it would be great to see that. But I don't know. Something going on about the Rabbitohs at the moment. So we've had a few people call out for a bet between you and me about the Eels. So where are we drawing the line at the Eels? I reckon it's a bottle of scotch. Whoever, I'm saying Para make the top 8. You're saying they don't.
Why don't you give me?
I'm not going to give you 4.
No, I've dropped Bulldogs out of the top 8 now. But even though I had Para in 9th, I'm not putting them in.
Okay, so then that's it then. A bottle of scotch.
Why don't you give me top 7? You take 1 to 7, they can run. I'll take 8 to however many teams are in the comp.
6. Okay, so if they finish 7th or better, you buy me a bottle of scotch.
Yep.
Okay.
It'll be a bottle of JB.
No, it's got to be like what about a Glenlivet original or something like that? Glenmorangie original will go.
$150 bottle of scotch.
Oh, wow. Let's do it, mate. I'm confident on the Eels. $150 bottle of scotch. I really, really like it.
Don't worry. They'll beat the Doggies in round 1, and all the Facebook tragics will be out.
Big strike. Jesus, there's plenty of them. You and me growing up in that area. We've got plenty of them on our own Facebook pages. So, mate, we're gonna take a really quick break, and then we're gonna get back. We're gonna wrap it up with our punting section and our thoughts on the All-Star Mile. So, real quick break, and we'll be back.
Go. Alligator Blood lets down now. Catalyst is sticking with him, and they were followed by Chenia. Alligator Blood at the 200 metres, about a neck in front. Catalyst on the outside is sticking with him. Alligator Blood at the 100. Catalyst digs in. They're stride for stride. Alligator Blood and Catalyst. Alligator Blood just in front of just one. Alligator Blood has beaten Catalyst. Bring on the Guineas.
He's back.
Chenia third.
The big boys racing this weekend in the All-Star Mile down in Melbourne.
Alligator Blood. Hey, watch this. Beer open. Taking off the leg up stubby cooler.
Oh, nice stone and wood. Someone's going all right. Oh, for all those out there that aren't watching the video, Woodard is currently holding up an Alligator Blood beer coolie.
Yep, I do understand a podcast is an audio medium. Mate, this is
I'm
from
jealous.
the good folk. This is from the good folk at Magic Millions. When I say it's from them, we fucking went out and bought them, but
Well, mate, how much were they?
they were. It's a money can't buy product.
I was about to say, whatever they are, we would have paid double. Alligator blood, putting the kids through school since 2019.
From the Gold Coast 2018 yearling sale, which is actually next week, I think.
Mate, didn't you have? We had a little. There was a little spitballing about giving one away.
Let's just do it. This one right here, used. No.
Oh, yes.
Someone just give us a bit of an idea about how big an alligator blood fan they were. Give us an example of what they can kind of send through to us.
Call a race. Wear an alligator suit.
Yeah, alligator crocs. Draw an alligator. Draw an alligator. Draw your own blood. No.
Draw an alligator with an alligator.
Yeah, that'd be good. In blood. Oh.
Run past Catalyst. Beat Catalyst.
It's a funny old thing. I know some of you will do this. And if you do, you'll be getting a alligator blood stubby cooler sent directly to you. These things are money can't buy. That's not true. Stubby coolers. So send it in. I think there's none left, to be honest with you. So this one here could be the last one available
you bought
in Australia.
them all.
Yeah, there is none left now. But no, the good. I caught up. I got to see some of the people at Magic Millions up here on the Gold Coast, and when I went and got these, so very good horse, very good association, the Magic Millions, and hopefully we've got some news for you for next year's January sales about some big leg up news. Blah blah blah. All-Star Mile. I'll stop talking.
$55,000 horse running in a $5 million race.
So this is not a Group 1, is it?
It is not a rated race yet. Of all of these races that the clubs have just put on in the last couple of years are unrated. You have to have prestige before you become a group race, before you get rated. So
yeah, I got you.
These races currently, whilst they are attracting group horses, they are not group rated races.
Yeah.
But yeah, much like Chris Wallace said, when they go to the breeding barn, people are going to look at their page and see that they haven't won a Group 1 race or a Group 2 race or whatever. But if you have that Everest All-Star Mile, you've got $5 million in the bank account.
$6 million sitting up against you.
When you're racing for that sort of purse, people know that you have to beat the best to win that sort of money. So whilst it's not a rated race, it comes with a lot of zoo coins.
Yeah, zoo coins. So if anyone's we just have to touch on that quickly. One of the blokes that owns Alligator Blood, that runs the Alligator Blood Facebook page, is now trying to push his own cryptocurrency. Is that?
We're not saying he's dodgy,
but give us a bit of history on him.
I think at the moment he's suing the government.
Okay, well that's it's always a little mark against,
He's actually suing the government for over 8 million zoo coins.
They're happy to pay it.
Zoocoin is some sort of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency that he's trying to start up through, not through the Alligator Blood fan site, but you can get some free Zoocoins if you sign up.
So can I also say,
give me a pair of socks.
If you think our competition's silly about us saying do something that shows your love for Alligator Blood, this bloke was offering off things plus you win Zoocoins.
No, plus just vote for Alligator Blood in the All-Star Mile, 5 free Zoocoins.
Oh, I like it. Surely that's not. You can't do that. Who cares? It's not a listed rate. Hey,
you should get some leg up coins.
TLU coin, leg coin. A lot of good runners in this. A lot of runners in this. Obviously, Alligator Blood, our fave. I think it's really short for where it's at. Dick
height?
Van Dyke said that he reckons he'd be happy if it runs top 3, which didn't throw a lot of confidence behind me. But yeah,
mate, I think he's such a bag of nerves that he would say something like that. This is coming from the bloke that flew down on the plane in the same part of the plane with alligator
on the
blood.
horse.
Sitting on
alligator blood.
Like, could you imagine Chris Waller in the cargo hold with Winks? Like, it just, he is just a guy that is, I think he's a bag of nerves. So when he says top 3,
I'm actually taking this stubby cooler off because this is going to go to someone lucky. In fact, you'll get an alligator blood stubby cooler and you'll get a leg up stubby cooler. You'll get the 2.
Yeah, and all we need is the just some sort of proof that you're as big alligator blood fan as us.
Yeah.
Maybe dance like an alligator.
That's the South Florida. That's why I go for the Gators. I've always gone for the Gators in the NCAA.
Go Gators!
Go Gators. Hey, Spanish Reef, very disappointing on the weekend. Comes into this race, $126. Admiral's Joker, Goldfields, all big outsiders in this race. $126.
Should be $326.
Yeah, okay, well, there's actually one worse, which is Goldfields, trained by Logan McGill.
Is this Goldfields, I think, may be part of a giant syndicate, and this is how it's gotten a run in this race that...
the voting.
It commanded so many votes, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not Goldfields, it is one of those other ones that is 4,000 to 1.
Yeah, okay, well, that'd be...
But just looking through the field and playing a bit of guess who and knocking down the faces as you sort of go through the form lines, I sort of think you look at Regal Power, it's coming back from 2,000 meters to 1,600. You look at the other one that's coming across. It is I think Pikey had the opportunity to ride Superstorm. He's opted for Regal Power. I think that's just
Zara's on Superstorm. Yep.
Another lean there. I don't think there's anything in the field that oozes class like Alligator Blood, barring Melody Bell. I think that's probably our only sort of could be our only Achilles heel there. I also, if you are playing Quinellas and Trifectas, Fierce Impact, I think it'd be one to throw in.
I'm going to give you guys a roughie. Heart of Puissance.
Oh, you are. Are you 1/16th French?
No, I'm 1/16th Chinese.
Oh,
Thank you. I think it's a very, very good cult. I think that it's met a lot of good quality horses as it's come through the ranks. It was a bit disappointing in a midweek race that it should have done a lot better in. I think he came 4th or 5th. But yeah, I really like this horse. It's from Barrier 1, and I think maybe exotics, maybe place bet, but I'll be having maybe $10 on it at $41. But yeah, my money's not going anywhere else. I think I'm going to try and roll a few things into Alligator Blood, including I've got a special for us, a Queensland special, which some have been going good, some have been going bad.
You've been playing well up at Queensland.
I always do, mate. Over summer, we really focus on the Queensland Carnival, and we do very well. I had one for us, I think, last week on the podcast, which I don't think hit. Then I went hard on the page for Plitvice up there, and it did well. But back to this race, yeah, I think I don't know. I think it's going to be an Alligator Blood Melody Bell fight.
He
has drawn the wide barrier in barrier 10,
which is great for a leader. It's going to jump out. Ryan Maloney will get to see the field, get into his rhythm, outside the horses, slot in, hopefully somewhere, hopefully just outside whoever wants to lead, and mate, boom, it's all over.
That would be great, wouldn't it? Big heart pumping.
I would just love an Alligator Blood soundbite for next week's podcast.
Be great. They're really doing us quite well, aren't they? The Alligator Blood soundbite. So, very, very good, mate. Have you had a look at the Coolmore Classic this weekend. It is a Group 1. There's actually fantastic racing up in Sydney. We might just touch on it very quickly.
The Coolmore Classic, we have had quite a bit of luck with the favourite. I think it's around $5. Just let me find the race. Sylvia's Mother.
Oh, Sylvia's Mother. Sorry, yeah. We're quite fond of Sylvia's Mother.
We've backed at both starts this prep for 2 wins. It's won consecutive Group 3s, stepping up to the big show now, the Group 1 status. I think a lot of these other, like Sweet Deal, Pohutakawa, they're coming out of the same form lines. Do you know what? I've watched Sylvia's Mother progress through the grades, and it has stepped up to the challenges that it's been thrown into. And I think it probably can take the next step and win a Group 1. Looking at the Coolmore, it doesn't look overly strong this year.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Yeah, I think it could be one out of the box if it keeps improving. And the $4.20, I think that's quite a good price about it.
Yeah, same. I think get on that now because I think that will get smashed closer too.
Yep.
Okay,
especially with 2 wins going into the race, there'll be a lot of punters leaning in that have had previous success with it.
Yep. So, mate, the time has come for the podcast. You and I going head to head. Both of us missed last week after posting up winning weeks in week 1. Excuse me. Week 2, we both crashed and burned. Not badly. What did we have last week? Let me quickly touch on it. I went, if I remember correctly, what were your bets?
Mate, I had a couple of unlucky seconds. I think Saviciano, I think the pressure early on in the race just told late, and it got...
You had Spanish Reef in that multi, and I had Graceful Glamour, so you and I stood them out both.
I thought Spanish Reef was quite disappointing.
So was Graceful Glamour. Then I had Miss Siska, Pretty Brazen placed multi, Pretty Brazen placed, Miss Siska missed. You had Castle Vecchio.
Castle Vecchio, I think, just was too wide and started its run very early.
Tenley. And can I just say, our Group 1 form last week,
50 stars.
If you listen to the podcast last week and you put a bet on every single one of our Group 1, which is only 2 selections in each race, so 1 selection each, you would have had a winner in each of the 4 Group 1s. Is that correct? Or did someone told me that, so I don't know if that's...
Mate, that sounds correct.
Mate, I think the 50 stars call was probably the best of the show. I think the second best would have been the fact that everyone has a very short memory on how good Bivouac is, so keep an eye on the Bivouac. So, mate, I'm going to start this week. Where my $100 is going is a fairly simple one. I'm going to give you round 1. You can always have a little bit of luck. Round 2, round 3, you're never going to win in the football. No one knows where they're at. They're all feeling each other out. There's always upsets. So
before you start,
what?
There is one rule to the head-to-head multi.
What?
You can't include alligator blood.
Oh, well, that's fucked. No, I haven't got him in. Mate, we just go 250 on AB every time it's up, right?
Yep, that's it.
So we're going 250 on alligator blood. Mate, I'm happy to have 250 on Sylvia's Mother too, and let's see where we're sitting at. We'll just keep a winning record this whole season.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, go for it. Obviously, I like Para on Thursday night against the Bulldogs. Usually, I wouldn't bet a Thursday night game in the podcast because it comes out Thursday morning, or in this case, very, very late Wednesday night. It was too hard to leave them out at $1.30. Like I said, it's about navigating what you think is not going to be, where the upsets aren't going to be. I've taken 4 very, very good head-to-head bets that'll give you about $4.20. I've just gone Para Eels over the Bulldogs, Knights over the Warriors, Rabbitohs over the Sharks, and Roosters over Penrith. That should give you about $4.20. I'm going to have $80 flat stick on that. And then I'm going to have... Where are we? I'm going to go to... We're at Gold Coast. And I like... where are we? I've just got to get the race right because the markets didn't come out till late today. It's the Tab Gold Market, the race 8. So this is a black type race. It's not a group race, but we have a horse in it that we very much like, which is Malahide, which is trained by Michael Costa.
Big fan of any trainer that looks like the Borg.
Yeah, Borgie. You remember Borgie from last year's podcast? He looks very much like Michael Costa. We've had the pleasure of meeting Costa previously. Really, really great guy. One of the really good guys that we've met through the industry. He's a really different trainer. I like him. If you ever... it's actually something that I do quite a lot is follow his YouTube and his Facebook because he actually goes through his runners. I did know Malahide was going to race in this, well, have a go in this black, I keep saying black market, but it's the gold market, Tab Gold Market. Malahide's gone out the rest. He is aimed it specifically at this race. Now, when Costa aims horses at races, they usually have a really, really good crack. It's currently paying $11. So I'm going to have $20 on Malahide, number 16, race 8 Gold Coast, Malahide at $11. I think just keep watching the market, maybe bet a little bit late on it, but that's where $20 of my money is going to go. Mick Cahill in the saddle. I have a look. He's got a few other racing this weekend. I think, if you don't know who he is, check him out. Go have a look at him on Facebook, etc. I really like following him, and I just hope this rain pisses off. It's been absolutely hammering down up here on the Gold Coast, I think that if this rain goes away, Malahide's a much better chance. Currently, it's sitting at a heavy 9. Gold Coast drainage is pretty good. We get a bit of heat in the track. We should be right. So, $80 multi, $20 Malahide. There's my $100 for the week. Patrico.
Bang. All right. Well, mate, I'm going to... My football multi, it's going to stretch over the entire weekend. You get plenty of value out of it if you're willing to wait from Thursday to Sunday.
Let's go.
First up, $50. We're going to take Parramatta on the Thursday night, all up Canberra to beat Gold Coast, all up, what have we got here? All up Cowboys to beat the Broncos, and then to throw in a bit of value, we're going the Dragons to beat the Tigers. So altogether, those 4 games packaged up, paying about $5. You'll probably power that up to $5.50. So we're going to throw 50 on that at $5.50. Which you're looking at, what, a $2.75 collect? Then just turning over to the races, we're going to go a horse that we really liked in the 2-year-old Magic Millions, and it's since come out and run a quite fair race in Sydney without having a lot of luck in race 2, number 1, AIM. It is coming up against... one of Woodhead's horses. I love this. I love myself.
I love myself. You know that.
Yeah.
So you're going with AIM in that race because this is the last race you and I spoke about before going on air.
Yeah, I love myself is coming from a straight race in Melbourne. Second race start. I feel like AIM has that race experience. It really ran home well without getting any luck last start. I'm taking AIM for $25 all up Fun Star in race 5. I think this horse has the potential to be one of my favourite horses, Fun Star. It's by Adelaide, which I only found out through the week. And I think it'll get the better of Probabile this week. I think it's a good bet, and it'll be anchoring my next multi. So we'll have that multi, $25.
Can I just quickly for everyone following? So that's race 2, number 1, and race 5,
number 6. Paying $7.60.
$7.60, and you're having $25 at that at $7.60. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
So then stay there at race 5. We're going to start off. Fun Star we're going to take again. And we're going to take Fun Star into Sylvia's mother.
I thought we said we could leave Sylvia. We're leaving Sylvia out of it.
Mate, I've got to say Alligator Blood is the only horse exempt from the head-to-head betting.
I had Sylvia's mother in with Malahide.
Wow, that'd be some sort of all up.
Yeah, you're looking at about $45. Anyway, stick with it.
Well, mate, Fun Star all up Sylvia's mother, $1.90 into $4.20.
So sorry, what did you say? So you want to have another $25 at what odds have you got?
Fun Star is $1.90 currently, and Sylvia's mother is $4.20.
So what are we looking at?
We're looking at roughly 190 times 420, $8.
$8. Now, obviously we're going head to head, but we really bet together all weekend. So a winner's a winner. And more importantly, we want to tip you guys winners. So we've been...
mate, I'll tell you what, one more for a little bit of value. I think Master of Wine later on in the day is something you could just throw in there for a bit of fun.
I'm a very big fan of Master of Wine. In fact, when we were talking about what race were we talking through the week about with Luke Hilton?
Cheltenham Hurdle.
No. What race is Master of Wine in?
It's in race number 8 in the Tab Sky High Stakes over 2,000 metres.
So this wasn't the race that we were talking about, but...
No, it's got Jared's tip in it, Mustajir,
the tip we never got. I think Master of Wine's a very, very good quality horse. They've got it signed. What have they got it in for? There's quite a large race coming up that they have it put down for. I'm trying to think now. Anyway, Master of Wine, $2.70. German horse, I think. Master of Vane. Master of Wine.
Mate, I just think for a bit of value, we're only throwing in Fun Star because it does have the potential to become our favourite horse at $1.90. I just think if you want to really prop your multi up and go for it, then Master of Wine could be there. What's it nominated for? Oh, the Sydney Cup. Here we go.
Sydney Cup. This is what we're talking about during the week. I think it's a very big chance at good odds.
What was Luke Hilton's tip for the Sydney Cup?
We're really dragging on because we're about to wrap this up, but we will. I can actually look back.
Mugatu.
That's right, because he was a big fan of its run in the Canberra Cup.
Loves the Canberra Cup form.
Loves the Canberra Cup. So, all right. So plenty to bet on this weekend. We'll put the bets up on the page, our individual bets on the page. And, yeah, mate, thank you for another cracking week. We had a lot to cover tonight, so it was another big episode. Next week will be the same. We've got round 1 of the AFL, so we'll do a full round analysis of the AFL, where it'll probably, where the last kind of couple of, this episode he's got his share. Anyone watching will see him just drop the ball. Round 1 of the NRL done. I put a lot of it onto Pat as he is our NRL expert. It'll be the other way around next week with the AFL as we go through what we like. A few futures bets.
Plenty of questions. If you do have any questions about the AFL through the week, get in touch and we can cover them during the show.
Message us on Facebook. A lot of people aren't overly sure on their AFL betting, but they definitely should be betting on the AFL. Personally, leg up last year, winning season, leg up tips the year before, which was only from, I think, round 16 onwards, was a very big winning season. We are on 5 winning seasons on the trot for the AFL personally. And that's the other thing. These bets are our bets. So when they lose, we've lost too. So when they win, we win as well. So looking forward to go through, absolutely pumped to go through the AFL next week. But we'll also be talking about all the gun racing, round 2 of the NRL, quick review of round 1 of the NRL. But no.
Before we go, the alligator blood beer coolie. You got to be in it to win it.
And you get a leg up one too. You get 2 beer coolies sent to you anywhere in Australia.
Just prove you're the biggest fan. Bye-bye.
See you guys.